Aha! Showtime!
Friday, the eve of Reverbicon is finally upon us, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, degenerates of all ages, welcome to the Friday evening edition. Is that right? Friday evening edition? Friday evening extravaganza? Friday evening. Welcome to Friday evening. That Fuzzing 518 show live with you. Of course, we're over on YouTube also, Facebook. You guys can find us on Instagram and TikTok also. We'll go over those plugs, these links quite a few times this evening, I'm sure. But, so this evening is going to be a little bit different. Normally, I come on, I do my little sticky thing, little monologue action. I fuck with EPD a lot. And then I wind up just running the show, do an interview, live interview. Tonight's interview... turn this on. I'm done with that circle thing. So tonight's interview is going to be recorded. Joe Mansman he was gonna do a gig. So I don't stand in the way of anybody's gigs. If you got a gig to do, put me on that back burner. I don't care. So we worked it out this way to where we're gonna I recorded his interview and we're gonna play that for you guys tonight. So I'm gonna be sitting here with nothing to do. So I'm gonna jump in the chat and just kind of like mess with you guys while the interview's going on. That ought to be lots of fun. Can't wait for that. So, EPD, you around? EPD's around.
Yeah, I'm around.
So I had a question the other day. Oh, wow. You sound really, really thrilled to be here. Yeah, I'm around. Fuck you, Fuzz. Here we go again. So I had a couple of people ask me, what does EPD mean?
Really?
Yes. So I'm like... that's the executive producer, Dan. They're like, oh, okay. So then the second person asked me was like, EPD. I'm like, Epic Dick. It stands for Epic Dick. And they're like, no. I'm like, no, it's executive producer, Dan. So I had somebody believe for a minute that you were Epic Dick, bro. Just so you know, it's a little something. A little something.
My legend.
So, what's going on with you, man? How's things?
Yeah. There's not enough time in the day.
You know, there really is not. You are 1,000,000% correct on that one, dude. I always find myself coming down to the wire on this show. Like when I hit the start button, or when I'm listening to my Satriani and kind of getting in my groove, I'm like, oh, I gotta write this. Oh wait, I gotta write this. Oh shit, I gotta write this. And like, so I really don't get I don't get a chance to like mellow out. You know what? Yes. See, it works now. Thank you. Listen, I'm so sorry about that. I'm talking to Meatlog now.
I know. I was just going to point that out to you.
I am so sorry, dude. We had a pretty good run where there was a lot of like trolls in here, and they were mostly coming from like overseas and shit like that. I forgot that you had that as your name. So when you said I'm here or something like that, like, or what a bunch of handsome guys or something like that, I'm like, oh, this guy, no, I'm not even going to bother with that. So I immediately clicked block, and I didn't know how to take it off, but I finally figured it out, and now here you are. So welcome back, Meatlog. I appreciate it. Hopefully YouTube doesn't care about the name, but we'll see. Chief, good evening. Good to see you. Kazrael, good to see you too. Who else is out in the chat? Speak up or forever hold your peace. No, I still love you, bro. You know that. So there is so much going on in the greater Nippertown area. It's ridiculous. Like, you know how back in pandemic days, we're like, oh, I can't wait to see live shows. I can't wait to see live shows. My God, when is people going to, when are we going to see live shows again? Well, now that they're here, it's like, I can't keep up. I'm literally looking right now at the Nippertown calendar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I literally couldn't write them all down because there's so many. So, when we do What the Fuzz tonight, if I can even get this to come up, there it is. Well, that's happening right now. No, tomorrow. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. How about this? How about EPD could be extremely foxy? You know how you spell fat with a PH sometimes? How about extremely foxy, Dan? How's that?
Yeah, whatever.
Or if you switch them around, EDP, it could be extremely dapper prick. No. That's
Peckerhead?
Peckerhead work. I like that. Peckerhead's good. So yeah, I'm gonna I will do What the Fuzz later on tonight. I mean, it's a lot. So you'll have to prepare yourself for it. But let's talk about the subject at hand, the title of the show. And yes, if you guys did read that in monster truck voice, bonus points, just so you know. So we are at the eve of Reverbicon. It is tomorrow, noon to 7 at the Broken Barbecue Bar.
Can't wait for the subject at hand.
What did you do? He had something. He produced too much, I think. So it's at the Broken Road Barbecue Bar in Scatticoke. There's going to be live music from Joe Mansman and the Midnight Revival Band. Peter Anello is going to be warming up the crowd. Vombino and Trailer Park Moonlight are going to be there all day. It's going to be an all-day event, 12 to 7. There's going to be vendors. If you guys had seen earlier today, Ralph and I came on talking about all the vendors. Thank you to all the sponsors. My God, like Collar City Painting, Collar City Concrete, Corpse FX, and I think there's one more. I can't remember the pool company's name, but look on the poster. It's there. I apologize for not remembering that name, but there's a pool company that's on there too. Really cool bunch of guys. Really cool if you guys can sponsor this thing. So definitely appreciate it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, Nippertown Capital Underground, us here at That Fuzzing 518 show. It's going to be a great time. I've literally been messaging Ralph every 1 or 2 days. Like, is it Reverbicon yet? Is it Saturday yet? So unfortunately that comes to an end where I don't get to text him and message him and harass him anymore. Are you frozen? Oh no, there you are.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I'm reading. I'm researching. I'm doing my job.
You're doing your job. So we can't call you Do Nothing Dan anymore then, I guess, right?
Well,
we will. We will still do it, but we're not. Technically, we shouldn't be. Let's put it that way. So you guys come on out and see us tomorrow. We're going to have.
You just called me a Democrat.
Oh, that's hurtful. Ouch. You should ban him. You can,
I know.
So
silence.
Make sure you guys. I'll put them in timeout. You can put them in timeout too.
Nah.
So make sure you guys are stopping. Stop up there. There's gonna be a ton of vendors up there. The food at Broken Road Barbecue is amazing. Come hang out. It's time. It's gonna be 85, 86 degrees tomorrow. It's gonna be an amazing day out tomorrow. We're gonna have a hell of a lot of fun, and come see us. We're gonna be underneath the green awning. Me and EPD are gonna be there. The lovely Miss Tabs is gonna be there, hanging out with us as well. Fox Vineyard will be there, not in our booth. He's got his own booth, but hopefully he'll be like a neighbor of ours. That would be sick. That's gonna be like.
I want to see you throw down for the belt.
That belt stays with me, dude. There's nobody beating me for that thing. Nobody.
I think Fox could take you.
I'm gonna be like Bob Backlund from way back in the day and make that like 6-year run where nobody beats me. That's me right there. That's all me. But Fox is gonna be there. Our good friend Myron Lozon's gonna be there. Hopefully he's in our little neighborhood. That'd be sweet. Kevin Conrad's gonna be there. Let's throw him in the neighborhood too. We should have like a little cul-de-sac of like all the awesomes. But they're all awesome. All the vendors are gonna be awesome. Absolutely cannot wait for this, dude. I have been excited for this for months and months now. So we will I got bad hips, bro. Bad knees, hips, shoulders. Speaking of Myron, we'll give him a little love. Yep, we're gonna be handing out them cards all day long. And here's another thing too. One of the most annoying sounds in the world, right? We're gonna have the poker chips up there. These are that fuzzing 518 show poker chips. We're gonna be selling these tomorrow, $5 a piece. All proceeds are going to go to Autism Speaks. So make sure you guys, don't be stingy. Grab a couple of them. They make good stocking stuffers for the kids. Well worth it. The donation is well worth it just to go to a worthy cause, but you're going to get a little something for it now. Here's the thing. I have a green poker chip these are obviously black with the logo and the, YouTube links, YouTube and Facebook links. There's going to be one in Fuzzy's sack. You guys are going to be reaching a Fuzzy sack and grabbing a chip
In the Fuzzy
for
sack.
every $5 donation you do. Reach into my sack. You grab yourself a chip, right? These, you made a great donation. You got a great little keepsake souvenir, stocking stuffer for the kids, etc. If the green chip comes out, okay, the green chip is the winner chicken dinner, so to speak. But you're not getting a chicken dinner. You are going to be getting this right here. It is a Peter Steele pick from the Bloody Kisses tour, and they're not easy to come by. So that's going to be a hell of a prize. So if you guys do pick the green chip, the lucky winner is going to go to you. If the chip gets picked quick, we may throw some cash on the line too. But that's what we're going to do. And again, all proceeds go to Autism Speaks. We're doing that for our good buddy Gina. And that's it. Make sure you guys come out and say hello. That's the most important thing. Frequent most of the vendors that are up there. Get yourself some food. Get yourself a drink or two. Responsibly, of course.
Free.
And it's free to get in. There's no charge. Free. Ralph says, no, my people don't pay. It's free. So here we go. And that's because of the sponsors too. The sponsors really picked up the bill for this thing. So, I mean, we're doing all right, guys. Make sure you guys stop up. Reverbicon. Oh, we've been 15 minutes already. Holy shit. Tonight's flying by. Next 2 days are going to be amazing out anyways. Tomorrow and Sunday. Sunday, I'm going to be filming the Valenti interview with him and Ray both at the Valenti compound. I'm scared to death. I might not make it out of there.
You might.
But what a way to go. You know what I mean?
Might be bloody and bruised.
What's that?
Might be bloody and bruised, but you'll make it out.
Well, what a way to go. You know what I mean? No, I'm excited. I can't wait to sit down and talk to them guys. It's going to be fun. Just a reminder, June 24th will be our first Thursday evening show, 7 p.m. We're going to switch to that. And
maybe you'll get to meet mobile EPD.
Yeah, we might get to see mobile EPD live in action from a remote location. That'd be sweet. Oh, and another thing, Kristen Capolino unfortunately had to reschedule her interview. That was going to be next week, I think. Let's see the calendar there. Yep. That was supposed to be next week. We rescheduled her for July 1st. So that'll be a Thursday show as well, 7 p.m. So make sure you guys are definitely tuning in for all this good stuff we got going on. But the most important thing, Reverbicon. That's what we're going for.
So Chief asked if that was the same as the Reverb that does the concerts. I didn't want to tell him, so you tell him.
How about I don't know? How's that? I'll give you an I don't know. How's that sound?
I thought that was the birth child of Ralph's.
Is. What am I doing here? Oh, I'm trying to get this screen to share. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go into the Joe Mansman interview now. And so what I'll do, chat, is I'll jump in with you guys and hang out with chat for a little while the interview's going on. What, do you want to get knocked off? Okay, hold on a minute. We got something new now. We have quite a few things we can do. We can do the nuke, obviously. We can do You're Fired. What else did I have? Nuke, You're Fired. We have the rabbit. That was nice, right?
Yeah.
Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more, plus a different You're Fired. A Vince McMahon You're Fired. That's a good one.
Put a number to it and have Fuzz pick it.
Do what now? Oh, put a number to it? Okay, so Fuzz, 1 through 11. Pick a number from 1 through 11.
That's my.
We gotta wait for the delay too. So
yeah.
So we're gonna have the Chief pick a number 1 through 11, and that's gonna be Dan's fate for getting booted off the screen today. How's that sound?
It's fantastic the way this delay works, because then I got, the stream, YouTube, the Facebook. It's like, so if I miss it here,
the Chief goes with number 9, and number 9 I think is a really good one. So here's what we do: we do number 9, we get rid of EPD, then we're gonna go right to the bunny rabbit, and then you'll go right into the interview. Sound good? All right, let's go find out what number 9. Number 9 is okay. So EPD.
What?
Are you ready to accept your fate? Number 9.
I accept it. Whatever.
Then we're going into the bunny rabbit, and then we'll go straight into Joe Mansman interview. So make sure you guys stay tuned. I'm going to jump in chat and hang out with you guys for a while. Make sure you guys chat it up. EPD, say goodbye. We'll see you in a little while. All right, we are here with the one, the only Joe Mansman. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Stoked to be here. Stoked.
Dude, I am honored to have you here. So let's start off. Everybody in the band healthy through the pandemic, all that stuff.
Everybody's good. None of us got sick this whole time. We played it as safely as we could without, calling the whole thing off. We were still getting together, as much as we could, trying to distance as much as possible, but yeah, everybody's healthy, everybody's good. My wife and I actually had a baby during this whole thing, and
congratulations.
Thank you. Our drummer is, he and his wife are having a baby.
Congratulations again.
Thanks.
That's good stuff, man. Yeah, that's all. I'm glad to hear it. That's ultimately the most important thing. Everybody's safe, everybody healthy, all that stuff. We are here to talk about the newest project you guys have out, which is Renegade. That is available on all platforms, and the hard copy of it can be picked up at Bandcamp, correct?
Yes.
That would be bandcamp.com/The Midnight Revival Band if you guys are interested in getting a hard copy. You guys sell them at the shows too?
We do. Yeah. So we got this beautiful 6-panel gatefold CD that we sell. I know, nobody really buys CDs, but we always do a short run for the people that do want them. Right now we're in the middle of a cassette pressing, and we're going to do a vinyl pressing late July.
Put me on the list for the vinyl, man. I'm definitely in. And dude, I cannot not buy CDs still. I can't do it digital. Like, I mean, I have a bunch of digitally downloaded stuff, but I still have to get that physical copy. So, like you said, with the six-fold CD case, the album art, like, it's all important to me. I love that shit.
Yeah,
so,
and for this is for like unsigned bands specifically. If you are going to put in the effort to press CDs, make it worth it for people. Because most people they aren't buying them. You are going to have the occasional few at a show that they want like a physical memento to pick up. So you might as well go all out with it. Make it as nice as you can. Make it worth the money, because people can listen to it wherever they want. So you might as well, if you're going to give them a hard copy that you're going to charge for, you might as well make it as pretty as you can. Vinyl, absolutely. Though, I mean, man, everybody's buying vinyl.
It's what I do have something to play vinyl on, but I get it a lot just for the album art. Like, I love having that big ass square. It's like artwork. It's cool. And I mean, I dig the sound of vinyl stuff, the pops and the snaps and the, all that good stuff that comes with playing an album. I love it.
Yeah,
it's cool.
You're always going to hear something in those recordings that got lost in translation somewhere else. So,
and it seems like it's
flare here,
yeah,
string pluck there.
And it seems like with all the different platforms, like cassettes have their own nuance, CDs have their own nuance, vinyl has their own nuance, and even digital's, probably the cleanest you can get. That has its own nuance. Every platform seems to have its own subtle nuance, which is kind of cool.
Well, yeah, bands now have when you're putting out records, you have to master to their sound specs. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to throw something up on Apple Music, you got to make sure that you're mastering to their sound specs.
Right? Yeah. Yep.
It's a whole different ball game, but But speaking of CDs, I mean, I was lucky enough to still come from the last generation that was buying CDs, that found music through CDs. So I never stopped.
Good. And that should be a lesson to all you guys. Buy CDs, especially Renegade. Damn it.
Well, right. There was something about, like, when you were a kid. I mean, I'm a little younger than you. You know what I mean? But like, when I was a kid, like, going to, like, you're looking forward to a band dropping a record, and you would go to the store and you'd save $16, buy this CD, and like, part of the excitement was being able to open it up and read the lyrics, read the liner notes. It's
exactly.
all part of the whole experience.
Yeah, for sure. I used to love, and this is kind of self-serving, but I used to love back in the day when you get like a local band's CD cassette at the time, I think it was, but like, you get that and you open up the album liner notes and you're looking through like the special thanks and your name pops up. You're like, yeah, dude, that's awesome. I used to love that shit. It wasn't like it happened all the time, but when it did, I was like, oh man, that's awesome. And it does appear as fuzzy too. So if you guys are going back in your collection, it will show up as being thanks to Fuzzy. So that's kind of cool. So speaking of the pandemic, and then we'll get off that subject, because that whole thing just makes me mad. But because it essentially stopped the world on a dime.
Yeah.
Like we were talking, before the interview, and that, I mean, it affected you guys, obviously, gig wise. Everything went away. And I'm sure you guys had, like you said, 18,000 gigs piled up that you guys were on a roll, and all of a sudden it's just like, stop right there. And everything just came to a dead halt. And a lot of places, a lot of people, a lot of bands, musicians suffered because of it. Bad. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
And so how has it affected you guys as far as, I understand the gigs, all stopped, but as far as like writing and stuff like that, you guys pretty much were okay and kind of pushed through it, I would imagine.
Yeah. All right. I'll start with a little backstory, I guess, before all that happened. So Late 2019, we were finishing up all of our shows on our last record, and our guitar player, my brother, who was a founding member of the band, he and his wife were having a baby, and he was calling it quits. And our last show with him, we were playing with Scott Stapp in Plattsburgh, and that was his last show, and we still had about 10 shows that we had still committed to, that we planned on fulfilling. And we got our current guy in Dollars, and he had so Al's last show was in September. We started Dollars off in October, and we had 2 practices to learn 30 tunes. And right after that, I mean, the first show with him was the McFerrin Brothers show. That was his first show with the band, and then we did a couple in January, and then we toured all of February. And right as we hit, I think I want to say March 7th was our last show before things shut down completely. So, Dollars had just joined the band. He learned all this stuff. We had so much heat behind us at that time, and then boom, that was it. So, I've always been the guy in our band who kind of, I always kind of look at the big picture, and I kind of saw it as an opportunity to at least get back into writing mode. Because I mean, when you are touring and playing even a ton of local shows, like those always take precedence over writing,
Sure.
and the quality of what you're writing. So we had this tiny practice space in Hudson Falls. We had a boat garage that we were renting out, and we were on our last 2 months lease, and so this is still March, April, and we decided that we were just going to go ahead and just turn this garage into a little recording studio. And our drummer and our keyboard player, they were a little more sensitive to what was going on, and they stayed away for a month or two while the rest of us kind of started the recording process. And we had all this new gear that, we were just trying to figure out how to use. So while we were kind of learning it, we actually did a live acoustic record during that time. It's called Fear in the Valley, and that's out there everywhere too. And it's kind of thematic, kind of sums up the whole theme of what was going on in the world at the time. Just because here who would have thought you were walking down grocery store aisles that were completely empty, and you had to wear a mask everywhere you went. It was fearful for people. So it's kind of like a thematic record in a sense, but we did it live because we were just trying to figure out how to use all this stuff still. And we actually put a whole documentary about the making of that record up on YouTube last year. And then literally as soon as that one finished, the band's full lineup got back together, and then we all pretty much started the recording process for Renegade. And we tried the live stream thing like everybody was doing, and it didn't work out for us so well. This is not me talking any trash about anybody who helped us along the way with those, because we worked with some really professional people doing live streams, but
yeah,
I don't know, the bands just felt like we could not be tight for those.
Yeah.
We weren't used to things like in-ears and not feeding off of the energy of a crowd and things like that. So it kind of, on our end, it seemed kind of stale. So we, after a couple of those, we decided to say, fuck this. And we just kind of poured everything we could into the Renegade recording, finished that up in November. And then from November on, we pretty much, we worked really hard practicing several times a week, just kind of honing our live set. And because I knew, the guys were a little uncertain about when shows would come back, but I kind of saw I kind of thought around this time that things were going to start getting back to normal. And I was just so focused on we've got to be tight. We've got to be tight. We have to be playing new material. We got to act like we didn't miss a step.
Yeah.
So we put out a single this past March. We put out Wild Woman. And, you know, now the doors are opening again. We've got a ton of shows booked. But yeah, I mean, so I guess what I'm trying to say, to make a long story short, is we never really stopped working. We're constantly putting out content. I mean, even while we were doing the acoustic stuff, you know, we put out like a full-length B-sides record on, you know, on Spotify and everything. We put out like a 3-song live record. You know, then we did Fear in the Valley, and now we did Renegade. So we had a constant flow of material, just to kind of keep things alive.
Which is great, because I think that with the time that a lot of artists had, it was like everybody went into writing mode. And I think in the near future, if we haven't seen a bunch of it already, which I mean, it's starting to pick up now, but I think in the near future, you're going to see a lot of new releases from, I mean, national artists too, but a lot of our local bands are just you're going to see content coming out like crazy, dude. And I'm excited for that, because it's, you know, obviously the more the better for me. I'm just like, yeah, pour it on, you know. But I mean, that's great for you guys as well, because the creativity was just kind of like, all right, well, focused, which is awesome.
Definitely. I was in touch with Mike Trash from the Erotics during that whole time, and you know, he was kind of bouncing some songs back and forth, and getting, you know, my input on some of them, and like, nobody's ready for that record. I mean, that's some of their best stuff.
I'm excited. I can't wait, man.
Yeah.
I know they're playing. I saw it the other day. It was Brother T and Black Cat Elliott and them are playing. I think it's in July. That's going to be a hell of a show. I think that may be one of their first times back. That's going to be a ripper, dude. I'm excited for that.
We're doing their we're going to do their album release late September.
Oh, excellent.
We're going to play that with them.
Very, very cool. So how long have you guys been around? How long have you guys been like Joe Mansman and the Midnight Revival Band?
So we've all been playing together since 2013.
Okay.
We weren't the Midnight Revival Band until 2015. We were, you know, always in between names. Didn't really know what we wanted to do. But so the band started with my brother. Are you there?
There, now I'm here.
Sorry. Okay, so the band started with my brother and I. He actually rejoined the band, by the way. So that whole story I told, he's in the band again. So we're 6 weeks now.
Okay.
But anyways, it started with him and I. He and I have always been in and out of bands together since childhood. So the Midnight Revival Band was kind of like our first real band into adulthood. We started writing songs together in 2013, recorded a couple songs here and there. We got our keys player, Chris, towards the end of that year. And, you know, he was just a good friend of ours, you know, just from the music scene. We had played in and out of bands together, you know, forever. Then we had a couple guys, Tori and Rich, who were in the band for a while. And the current lineup, we found just, I mean, like I said, we're the kind of band that like never misses a beat. I mean, when a member quits, we've got somebody right on the back burner. I mean, so when our bass player, when our drummer left, our current drummer, Jesse, he was ready to go. I mean, so we never missed shows. Then our bass player, he too kind of suddenly quit. We got our current bass player from another band out of Long Island, you know, so he came out here to join our band. And our other guitar player, Dollars, you know, like I said, like when Al left the band the first time, Dollars kind of joined a month later. So we never really missed a beat. We've always been like good about that. So yeah, and so the band's been around for, what is that, 7, 8 years now, but we didn't really start taking the band serious till about 2015.
Now, how did you guys get the Midnight Revival Band? I know you said you were bouncing back and forth. I mean, obviously, I know where Joe Mansman comes from, but how did you guys get the Midnight Revival Band?
So we, when we started playing together, we did a lot of like bluesy outlaw country stuff. Like we did a lot of stuff in the vein of Shooter Jennings.
Okay.
Midnight, the Midnight Revival Band just seemed something that was classic, old timey, something that doesn't just, something that could be seen as timeless.
Yeah.
And,
Makes sense.
Joe Mansman is my real name. People ask me that all the time. So, but yeah, I don't know. I've always wanted to be in a band that was like Joe Mansman and the Somethings. Not that I'm the most important member of any band I'm ever in, but I kind of carry a lot of the work on my shoulders anyways, but I figured this was a good time to do this. So
it definitely fits. And like you said, it does match it matches the music, because it's your stuff does this, your sound is just, it's timeless. Just, I mean, it's rock and roll, dude. It's rock and roll, man. There's no, like, you hear it, it's just like, oh yeah. You just get that old timey feel. Like, it's just, and I'm not talking like old time rock and roll like Bob Seger, but it's just that it's got that vibe of like old time rock, and it's cool, dude. I totally dig it. It's cool.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
So,
I appreciate that. That means a lot. We've done something different every album. I mean, we were never satisfied with where we were musically. Not that there was anything wrong with any of the genres that we were playing. It's just that we were never good at any one in particular. And, I don't know, we're the kind of musicians that always wanted to be better at what we were doing anyways. Like, for us, it meant branching out, learning different styles of music. I mean, we've always been into classic rock anyways. We've always been into country anyways, so we blending it all together. Here it is today. So I don't even know what you'd call it now. I mean, what, sleaze rock, glam rock? I don't even know. But
I mean, it's just rock, dude. It's just rock and roll, man. There's no sugarcoated. It's just rock and roll. So we're going to give you guys a little example of that right now. We're going to play Wild Woman off of the newest project from them, and then we'll be right back with Joe Mansman. Check this out.
Just keep on killing. I bet those high heels, baby, they got stories to tell. Here's what she did. The lady's going out tonight. She's on a killing spree. Oh, she's got that Monroe kiss that just gives you the feelings. Oh, it's like a maddening wine that just keeps on killing. Yeah. I bet those tight curves, yeah, they got places to be. Places, yeah. Lady's going out tonight. She's on the killing spree. She's a wild cat, rides around the finger of the first sight. She's just my type, never gonna will feel alright. Oh, those black nails thigh high, those glittering wild eyes. I'm going out of my mind, and I'm loving the seas, yeah. Oh, she's an angel of things, jealous moon in my sky. She's a jealous guy. She's going out tonight, she's on a killing spree. She's a wild kind, rides around the world at first sight. She's just my type, never gonna She's just my type, never gonna
All right, we're back with Joe Mansman. Their song "Wild Woman" we just played for you guys. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. I mean, I shouldn't even say that. I know you guys enjoyed it because it's definitely some kick-ass rock and roll. Now, let's talk about the album Renegade. Who writes what on the songs? Like, what's your songwriting process? It's obviously it's probably a collaboration of everybody. Like, how does a song start for you guys?
Well, this is the first record that wasn't 90% me. In the past, I would typically write 75% of the instrumentation as well as the lyrics and melodies. Wasn't at all like this time around. In fact, this was the first record we ever wrote in the studio. So I mean, when we're writing, it usually just starts with a riff. Dollars would, he would have a couple of ideas here and there that he would bring to the table. Usually nothing more than just maybe an intro riff or something. Mm-hmm. And now we all just build off of that. I mean, to be honest, I'm the last member of the band at this point to kind of finish my parts. Everybody else finishes what they've written long before I do. I don't really finish until I hit that record button. But and that's the first time that this has ever happened to the bands. I mean, we had all of these ideas before we recorded the record, and we pretty much invented all of them as we went along. None of them were rehearsed, other than like the first track, Sellout. I mean, because we put that out as a single last year. Mm-hmm. Other than that one, none of these were rehearsed for long periods of time, like really picked apart a whole lot. They were pretty much created in the studio based off of a riff.
I lost where I was on the page. I apologize for that. You guys said you started writing this while you were in the studio during the pandemic. Now, which is the first single off of the album?
It was Sellout.
Sellout was okay.
Yeah. So we actually put out Sellout in January of 2020. And Sellout was just intended to only be a single at that time. And that one, yeah, I mean, that one we had written as our old lineup too. So this was before Dollars was even in our band. And then everything else, like I said, was pretty much created in just a spur of the moment thing. I mean, now I'll backtrack a little bit. Like, I'm not saying like when we went into the studio, we literally just hit record and came up with whatever. I mean, right. The songs were rehearsed. They just weren't rehearsed to an extent that some of the last records were. This was just the first time that we decided to be a little more creative, like in the moment. Like I said, like for this record, I was the last member of the band to finish what I was writing, and mm-hmm. My parts weren't finished until the studio. So
now, do you prefer it the way you guys just did it, or do you prefer it the other way where you had everything done yourself? Obviously,
we prefer it the way that we just did it. In fact, we're doing that again. We've already written the next record. It's done.
Jesus, damn, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, we spent all of April and March writing, and we would get together for a couple of hours on a Sunday just dedicated to writing, and we had 7 or 8 weeks straight where we every rehearsal there was something brand new that we would finish in either 1 or 2 sessions. So the next record is already written. We're probably going to start tracking that in the next month and a half, finish up a couple of shows, kind of get our heads right, and then start tracking that.
Now, again, I'm jumping from question to question. I shouldn't do that. That's what totally screws me up.
Hey man, no worries.
Do you have a
rock and roll?
Do you have a particular favorite on the album? I know it's like asking you if which kid's your favorite, but do you have a particular favorite that you like on this album?
Yeah. My absolute favorite on this entire record is actually the first track, Night Rockin'. And it's a bizarre song. in the sense that it's mostly instrumental. It's got one verse is the only lyrical part on the entire song, and it's because when we wrote it, it was supposed to only be an instrumental track to open the record. But at the time, when we were laying that all down, I was going through a separation with my wife of 6 years, and I'm not the type that writes songs about most people in my life. I like my songs to be a little more like open-ended.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I haven't written those before, but like I tend to write a little more open-ended. But that was the first Midnight Revival Band track where the lyrics were centered around my marriage, and I summed up. It felt like I summed up 6 years of marriage in one 4-line verse.
Wow.
And even now, I mean, when I listen back to it, it gives me chills because I know exactly what I was feeling when I tracked those vocals, what was going through my head.
So now, when for those people who haven't seen these guys live, essentially what happens is they set up, they tear the entire roof off the fucking place, and then they just go home. That sums up a Joe Mansman in the Midnight Revival Band live show. So if you guys haven't seen him, make sure you guys go out and see him. Now, Reverbicon, which will be a week and a day. Actually, it'll be the day after this airs. But it's like a week and 2 days from right now. Reverbicon, that's June 5th, right?
Yep.
June 5th. It's going to be at the, I'm stupid. I got the cards right here. It's going to be at the Broken Road Barbecue and Bar in Scannacoke. That is going to be one hell of a time. Joe Mansman will be there with the Midnight Revival Band. And there's no roof. I think you guys might be playing outside. So there's no roof. They'll probably tear the sky off of the earth. So just so you guys know, you're not going to want to miss this, guys. But, I mean, any chance you get to go see these guys, please do, because you will not be disappointed. We're going to play another one from you guys. It's called Dagger, also off of the newest album of you guys. And we'll be right back after that. Check out Dagger, guys.
Slowly, the course falls. Grab me, no fear and night. Stop me, won't you stop me? Because you love you. And secret skies. Chasing the absent truth, but I need not the way. Call me, I go to calling me home. Waiting, sailing courses for secret sides.
All right, we're back once again with Joe Mansman, and make sure you guys go to bandcamp.com/the Midnight Revival Band. Did I get that right?
You got it.
Yes, I knew I would, and I'll give you guys all the links to that stuff in once we hit the end of this thing. But let me ask you this: what are some of your individual influences? Like, what got you into music? What kind of inspires you now? That sort of thing.
All right. So when I was little, I'm the youngest of 6 kids, and mostly brothers. So when I was little, my brother Mike, he gifted me, a couple of mixtapes that had bands like Garbage, Soundgarden, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what got me. I just fell in love with music. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to imagine, being on stage and singing those songs, and like we were talking about earlier, when I started getting the CDs for some of these bands, I mean, I could not take my eyes off of the booklets. I mean, I treasured them. I hung them on my walls. I just really idolized some of these groups. And when I was 12, I bought my first CD with my own money, and it was Yield by Pearl Jam.
Mm-hmm.
And absolutely love that record. One of my favorite bands, just kind of like through my teen years, was Stone Temple Pilots. As you can see, I got this badass bootleg on vinyl.
Nice.
But Scott Weiland is one of the best frontmen of all time. But I was also into bands like Rat, Motley Crue. I got into some of the early 2000s, new metal stuff. Eventually, I dabbled in some of the indie punk stuff, but I don't know, man. I couldn't really dig the art music scene.
Right.
When music became more about I don't know, weird shit, art and feelings and all that stuff, I didn't dig it. To me, music was more about showing off. It was about, there was a sleaze behind it. There was a swagger, a danger that was expected that, I don't know, bands just weren't delivering. So I don't know. So some of those bands that I mentioned are definitely some of my biggest influences. I can't really I don't even want to talk for the rest of the band. I mean, they have so many, I can't even name them all, but definitely a lot of classic rock in there. I think I'm the only guy in the band who's really into the 90s. And, I was I was big into the Seattle scene. I mean, Alice in Chains was one of my favorite bands of all time.
So that, I mean, the passing of these guys must have hit you super hard. I mean, you had Lane Staley, Scott Weiland, Kurt Cobain, even now Chris Cornell. That had to have rocked you pretty good.
But yeah, actually, I had this conversation with my now ex-wife at the time that Chris Cornell died. I was trying to explain to her why that was legitimately sad for me. I told her that I felt like a part of my childhood had died that day. Same with Scott Weiland. I felt like it was a part of my childhood that I'll never get back.
It's sad. It's just ultra sad. That whole thing. I mean, I get it, dude. I mean, addiction is a bad animal, and it's hard on a lot of people. I just wish more people would get help, and instead of go the route. I mean, especially with Chris Cornell, I know he was in pain, but man, what a talent to lose. It's kind of self-serving to say that, because it's selfish to say that, because we lost a talent. I know his kids lost a father and his wife lost a husband, but I mean, what did we lose as fans? We lost however many more albums and songs like Rusty Cage and Jesus Christ Pose and all these killer songs that you just think about and you're your hair starts standing up in your arms, and how many more of those could they have delivered to you? It's it's just, it's frustrating. You know what I mean?
How much did some of these guys affect the way that you think, the way that you dress, the way that you treat people? I mean,
absolutely, dude.
there's so much more to that some people just don't understand, especially for us musician types, you know, like if they've had a profound influence on your music, you know, all of those things are entangled in that, you know, how they dressed, how they lived, how they talked, you know,
Yeah,
all those things,
absolutely.
like,
No.
you know,
And I mean,
I
especially
did take those things hard at the time.
especially writing music. I mean, that could have an effect on the way you write music. I mean, it's I don't know. Man, it's just sad all around. It just sucks, man. It's just, but I mean, it's a part of life. We all have to deal with it, but I wish we didn't, man. I mean, personally, and you know, with the superstars of today and tomorrow and the past and all that stuff. I just wish, unfortunately, we have to deal with it, but I just wish we didn't have to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Imagine, I mean, I
like
think
when McCartney dies.
yeah, dude, I think about like even especially like Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison. Like even back then, it's like, what more could they have given it? What more could we have gotten? What would they be doing today? Like, what would they be putting out today? Like, it's just crazy.
I often think about like what some of those groups, like Jimi Hendrix, you know, John Lennon, like what they would have thought about modern music and how things developed, and how bands today took inspiration from them 50 years ago, you know, like how they would have seen that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It gets heavy to think about, man. It's like I talk a lot with like Jim from Nippertown and stuff like that, and we kind of ask each other these questions from time to time. It's like you start thinking about it, you're like, damn, man, it gets you going on like eight different tracks at once. You're like, shit, it's pretty heavy.
Yep.
Now, I know we went down kind of a dark road, so let's go back to the light a little bit. Do you have any good gig stories? Anything that really stands out to you, like something that was like really funny that happened, something that was kind of like embarrassing, or like just something that stands out in your head? Do you have like one that like your go-to story, like, oh, this time on the road we blank? Do you have one of those for us?
All my good gig stories involve me being really drunk, Fuzz. Yeah, I got a couple. I got a couple of good ones. We played a show. I can't name the promoter and I can't name the venue, just FYI. I could just tell you it was out in Connecticut.
Okay.
Like far Connecticut. So we drove 3 hours in a massive blizzard. You know, a 3-hour trip turned into a 6-hour trip. And we drove all the way out there, only to find out that there had been some communication issues. The promoter had expected us to bring a guy to man the door if we expected to make any money that night. We supposedly had to bring a door guy. You know, they were like 8 bands on this bill and maybe 15 people there. And not that I ever care playing empty rooms. That's kind of like, that's what I'm known for. But, you know, we literally played to one person by the end of the night. And, you know, we didn't make any money. We didn't sell any merch. We didn't get a guarantee. But they had this weird bread bar. It was an all metal, like you know, heavy metal bar, but they were selling bread. It was like a weird like thing like attached to a bakery. So we stole all the fucking bread. We took all of the fucking bread, filled up the van with the bread, and like ate that shit the whole way home.
Holy shit.
There was one show where our guitar player, he got so drunk, he turned his back towards the audience to light up a cigarette as if nobody would notice. You know, lights up a cigarette, gets it lit, then he falls backward into the monitors.
Jesus.
Throws up behind a cab. There was one, again, I can't name the venue, or you know, but like there was one show where one of us had gotten so drunk that they shit in the green room.
Oh, Jesus. Not mentioning who, obviously.
I don't know, man. Like sometimes rock and roll, the places it takes you to. But I don't know. I've played everything from hotel bars to clubs, churches, elevators, shipping containers, you name it. I've played them all.
What was the most unique, quote unquote, stage you've ever taken?
The most unique stage?
Yeah.
Now
that you mentioned like shipping containers and elevators and stuff like that. Like what was the weird, I guess the weirdest place you've ever played?
The weirdest place I've ever played. we don't often play like bigger stages. A lot of it is like kind of dives and stuff like across the country. Have you ever heard of Googs?
I have. I've never been there, but I've heard of it.
So it's a hometown club. Well,
yes.
we typically over the course of a winter we'll do 5-6 Goog shows.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to like go to Goog shows to understand what the environment is like. But to make this short for you, it's pretty crazy. I mean, they serve one food item on the menu. It's a ham sandwich. They serve this thing called a sweaty Goog. It's pretty divey, but we love it. We happened to play a show in New Paltz one night in a venue called Snoogs, and this venue was literally like it looked like the bizarro alternate version of Googs. Like it had the same layout.
Wow.
Served a fucking ham sandwich on the menu. Like
nope.
I mean, it was just bizarre. But I mean, I think that was like a bizarre experience. We did well there, but it was a bizarre experience. We played an all feminist college party one time. That was weird, where we were in a basement and for some reason we were out of town. It was in Burlington, Vermont. We're the last bands to play and nobody stuck around. It was in this weird house. When we got done playing, we packed all of our shit up, walked upstairs. Nobody was there. The house was empty. I mean, nobody was there. It was just crazy.
Damn.
We just played in some stranger's basement alone in Burlington.
That's crazy, man.
We I don't know, man. We played a couple of shows as a favor to a friend for these parties in like this trailer park out in Granville.
Mm-hmm.
And those were a lot of fun, and there were a lot of people there. But I remember we did it for free. Really, all we asked for was like a 30 rack. And once we got through the 30 rack, I don't know, man. We just started wandering in and out of people's houses, raiding liquor cabinets, and everybody seemed to be okay with it. Like,
works for you, right?
I don't know. There's a lot of weird ones. Nothing crazy comes to mind, but I don't know. I must have played 1,000 shows, at some point in my life.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna give you the one question that usually people are like, but it's an easy one. If you were talking to a younger version of you, what advice would you give them in regards to music?
I would tell him to take work less seriously, take paying your bills less seriously, give every ounce of energy to that, because you only have so many young years left. It's harder to make music in your 30s than it is in your teens and in your 20s. I can't tell you the amount of nights that I spent just stressing over, am I going to lose my apartment if I go on this tour? Am I going to, lose this job that I need to pay a car payment? If I could go back in time, I would have taken the gigs, and I would have, spent more time probably practicing and maybe even take lessons. I don't know. I think that's the advice I'd give my younger self. That, and fucking don't drink so much. Love your mom. Call your mom more. Tell her you love her.
Dude, that's probably one of the best answers I've gotten. Bravo. That was cool. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to you now. This is what I call shameless plug time. Anything you want to say to the folks out there, this time is yours. Take as much time as you need. You can thank anybody you want to. You can plug anybody you want to. You can please let us know all the places you're playing. That would be perfect. So the stage is yours, sir. Take it away.
Thanks, man. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure, being able to work with you and with Jim from Nippertown and Ralph and Sly Fox and everybody. I mean, you guys have all given us so many great opportunities and chances. So thank you guys so much.
Appreciate it.
Midnight Revival Band. We just put out a new record. It's called Renegade. We're trying to push it really hard and we're trying to play out as much as possible. And we're not the kind of band that's doing things for paychecks and things like that. We love what we're doing, and we're gonna rock your tits off. right now, there's more to come, but we're doing June 4th at Mullins in Hudson Falls, which I'm also doing a cover set for beforehand. Then we're doing Reverbicon, which we're all really looking forward to. What a really cool, just like event to be a part of. Cosplay, vinyls, comics, wrestling, you got it. July 28th, I'm not sure if it's kosher to even announce this, but fuck it, I don't give a shit. We're doing Alive at 5. Headliner is still confidential. We have no idea. August 7th, we're doing Gem Fest in Glens Falls. That's the Glens Falls Entertainment and Music Festival, and we're headlining that one. August 20th, we are playing at PK's Irish Pub in Bellows Falls, Vermont. September 3rd, we're playing for Garlic Fest in Bennington. September 4th, we're playing the Gathering Festival in Plattsburgh. And then September 24th, we are playing the Erotics record release show. And then that'll be a small break for us so our drummer can have a baby. And a couple weeks after that, we're going to get right back at it. All the while throughout this, we're going to be recording a brand new record. It's already written, and we're going to start tracking that soon. Well, that's a mouthful of stuff. But anything about us is available on our website, themidnightrevivalband.rocks. And yeah, looking forward to seeing everybody going out there and getting our feet wet again. We really missed playing in front of people. Live streams suck. Fuck that shit. Hate it. We want to play to people. We want to get drunk. We want to party and have a great time and just rock and roll.
Joe, I definitely appreciate you for joining us tonight. And the band is Joe Mansman and the Midnight Revival Band. The album is Renegade. It's available on all platforms. And like Joe said, you can go to midnightrevivalband.rocks. I had that wrong the first time, but I'll get it. And that's going to give you all their links, guys. It'll be YouTube, their Twitter, Facebook, the merch at Bandcamp. Go check out the merch on Bandcamp is pretty cool too, guys. So, and there's going to be more coming. So we're gonna say goodbye to you, sir. And I hate doing it because I've had nothing but fun. It has been my pleasure to have you here. And now that you've done the show, you and the Midnight Revival Band are all now official degenerates of my show. So you're welcome anytime you have something to promote. You want to just come on and talk. You are welcome anytime, sir. Just let me know and we'll bring you right in.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate it, folks. Joe Mansman. And we're going to play you the last song from these guys that we're going to play on the show anyways. It's called
I did forget to mention something, Fuzz.
Go ahead. Fire away.
There's one thing I forgot to mention. So since this is the last song anyways that you're playing on the show, Renegade Love,
yep.
FYI, our new music video for this song is dropping on June 14th.
June 14th. Make sure you guys are looking for that. So we'll give them a taste right now. We'll give them the song, and we will play you guys on the way out. Renegade Love. Again, Joe, it's been my pleasure, man. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
I can't wait to see you at Reverbicon, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
See you there. We'll party.
Yes, sir. Check out Renegade Love, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
ain't nobody's friend. I'm a rush in the sea and wind. I'm a father's son. I know you gotta think of God, no, it's not a shrinking up. What's your mama looking ain't gonna scratch the edge. Shaking on.
That was a lot of fun, let me tell you. Being able to sit down with Joe, hang out with him for a little while, and to get all that out of him, man. It was a great interview. Joe's totally a good dude, so glad we had that time together. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. It was a little weird sitting here watching myself. Like, I don't know, I'm so used to doing it live, so who knows? So we're going to get into real quick before we leave you guys. We're going to get into, we got two things left. We have what the fuzz is going on, and then rapid fire facts. So starting on the 5th of June, which would be tomorrow, the wheel and the grand opening of the courtyard at the venue. Ramform's 7th anniversary at Rareform Brewing Company. Summer weekends at Bearsville at the Bearsville Center. Of course, the most important to me anyways, Reverbicon 2021 is at the Broken Road Barbecue and Bar in Scaticoke. That's going to be noon to whatever, 7 p.m. That's what they say, but we might bring the party a little later than that. An evening with Tom Rush is the Berkshire Theater Group. The Little Folks Show with Kemp Harris is at Cafe Lena. An evening with Tom Rush is the Berkshire Theater Group. Lost Radio Rounders at SNS Brewery. That's in Nassau. Miller and the Other Sinners is going to be at Pauly's Hotel on the 5th. Aeromyth, be live at Frog Alley, and that's at 7:30 to 10. True Grit Outlaws are also at Frog Alley that night, 8 to 11. Bright Series Cloud Belly is going to be at Cafe Lena on the 5th. The 12th annual Bob Dylan birthday celebration live at Bearsville Theater. And Start Making Sense is going to be at Putnam Place, 8 to 11 p.m. on the 5th. Let us go to the 6th. That would be Sunday. All this stuff is available, by the way, on nippertown.com. We're going right off the nippertown.com calendar. You can go to nippertown.com, click up in the upper left-hand corner of the navigation bar. That will say calendar. That gives you all this information you need. It's an interactive calendar. It's really cool. So on the 6th of June, summer weekends at Bearsville, once again. Sunday Fun Day at Wicked Eatery at Pub and Entertainment. And Sally Rogers and Claudia Schmidt live at Cafe Lena, 7 to 10 p.m. on the 6th. On to the 7th, we have OTR at Eden Cafe, which is literally like right up the corner from right up the road from here, around the corner. Return to Blue Monday at Paulie's Hotel. Rick's Picks, Stephen Smith and Trevor English at Cafe Lena, and Mark Ribot's Ceramic Dog with Medeski Martin live at Bearsville Theater on Friday, June 7th. Of course, Bearsville Theater. On the 8th of June, Jazz at Cafe Lena, Chuck Lamb Trio with Gilad Hexelman. That's a Cafe Lena. I always have trouble with these names. Live interview with Matthew V. Price. That is, of course, with Jim on Nippertown. Would be Nippertown on Facebook. Make sure you're checking that out. Mark Ribot's Ceramic Dog with Medeski Martin live at Bearsville Theater. That's also on the 8th. To the 9th, we have nothing listed. So we'll go to the 10th. Michael Falzerano live at Cafe Lena. An evening with Hubby Jenkins, the Cock and Bull restaurant, and Zach Brock with Bob Lanzetti of Snarky Puppy at Putnam Place on the 10th. The 11th, which would be next Friday evening. Safe and Sounds at the Magic Forest Farm. Lost Radio Rounders, patio picking at the Cock and Bull restaurant. Pony and the Pancake, Steve Hammond and his rabid children. Zombie Giuliani live at Rare Form Brewing Company. Supper Club featuring the Jagaloons, which is going to be an amazing show. The Hollow Bar and Kitchen. The Garcia Project with special guests Dead Grass and Friends in Lake George. It's the Charles R. Wood Park. Sydney Worthley at the Dutch Ale House in Saugerties. The McCrells at the Parting Glass Pub. There's always a good time there. John and Orion Cribbs live at Cafe Lena. Nicopotamus is going to be live at Putnam Place. Sidewinder Blues Band live at Paulie's Hotel. That's 337 Central Avenue, Albany, New York. Make sure you guys check that out. SK live at the Lake George Beach Club. A lot of cool stuff going on at the Lake George Beach Club. My nephew's actually acoustic. We've had them on the show. They are playing up there all this summer. So make sure you guys are going to check any information you guys need on this stuff. Go to nippertown.com. Go to the calendar. It's in the upper left-hand corner of the navigation bar of the site. Click calendar, drop down, click on the day you want, and everything is right underneath there for you. So make sure you guys are checking that out. Again, nippertown.com. Can't say that enough. Jim, you do a lot of hard work, and you're not the mayor for no reason, buddy. Let's put it that way. EPD, you around? Oh, he's the consummate professional. Look at you, man.
Barely around.
You're around. You know what I mean? I almost feel bad about nuking you now. I do. Almost. You wouldn't? Okay. So we got some rapid fire facts. I know you love these. So I figured I'd bring you in to close out the show. And we'll do this. We'll talk about Reverbicon a little bit, and then we'll figure out some other fun and exciting way to get you off the screen. So that's a little workout for you. Did you get it?
I just got to go out there and finish the task my wife was just tasking me with.
Okay, so first rapid fire fact, you can actually buy a flying bicycle. It's a true story. You can buy a flying bicycle. Dolphins sleep with one eye open.
What?
Dolphins sleep with one eye open. True story.
The
The world's largest padlock. How much do you think that weighs?
world's largest padlock?
The world's largest padlock.
17 tons.
916 pounds.
That's close.
World's largest padlock. 916 pounds. That's a lot of pounds. Alfred Hitchcock was frightened of eggs. He said in an interview one time he was frightened by eggs, and then he said that eggs revolt him. He never tasted an egg in his life.
Well, it's chicken poop.
That's pretty much what it is. Comes right out the cloaca. Pigs do not sweat.
I knew that.
Right, but the term sweating like a pig.
Well, that means when you're
Horizons.
frying them in the pan like bacon.
Oh man, why'd you say bacon? Now I'm hungry. I like bacon.
Yeah, I haven't
Bacon's
eaten.
good. What's that?
Yeah, I haven't eaten.
Oh, diner? Okay, so the fuller your fridge is, the more energy efficient it is.
Yeah, it's less things that cool.
Well, I mean, stuff's cool in there, so it keeps cooling itself, I guess. But
Right.
the fuller it is, the more energy efficient it is. It kind of makes sense. So there's an Alaskan town called, I think it's Talkeetna, which had a cat as a mayor for 20 years.
Makes sense. It's Alaska.
There's so many comments I could make, but I won't. 1/4 of the entire amount of bones in your body are in your feet. The inventor of the Pringles can is now buried in one.
Nice. That's his casket, huh?
I guess. Maybe he had to have been cremated.
Scoop me into a Pringles can and bury me.
He had to have been cremated, though, because a giant Pringles can to stuff a dude in.
I don't know.
I don't know. Where would you put that?
Maybe he was a really small guy.
How small, though? Even a little person would be a big ass Pringles can. You can't just put that in the pantry.
I don't know. Did you ever see that movie, The Indian in the Cupboard? Remember the?
Maybe he was that. Okay, that makes sense then. Well, he's got a lot of room in there. Then if he's that size, that works. So cotton candy was actually invented by a dentist. It was called fairy floss at first, and then didn't go over too well. So another guy basically bought the rights to it and called it cotton candy.
There you go.
The Goodyear blimp is the official bird of Redondo Beach, California.
And the bimp.
That's right, the Goodyear blimp. If you were driving 60 miles an hour, if you started your car, drove directly up into the sky at 60 miles an hour, you would reach space in less than an hour.
All right, we got to try it.
Hey, I'm ready, man. Build a big ramp. This was interesting. The Queen owns all of the swans in England. I guess it's not like all of them, but it's like if there is any unclaimed swans, they automatically belong to the Queen.
Cool.
Every June, they count them. The ones that are like in the Thames River, they count them and then give the Queen an accurate count. I don't know, dude. It's kind of cool. Like,
look at the YouTube comment.
Here's another good one. Bumblebees can fly higher than Mount Everest.
Like your honeybee?
I guess. Well, no, bumblebees. So, yeah, I guess it would be. Well, it's like the bigger, fatter ones. The fuzzy ones.
The fuzzy ones.
The fuzzy ones. You get that, right?
The bigger, fatter, fuzzy ones.
Oh, I'm the bigger. Trust me. Speaking of bigger and fatter, here's the last rapid fire fact that we're going to do for today. Speaking of bigger and fatter, sumo wrestlers actually make babies cry for good luck. Well, and that's no different from me. I make babies cry just to have good luck on the show. So,
did you read your comment in YouTube yet? It's right up your alley.
I did too. Hitler invented the blow-up doll. Is that actually true?
Who knows?
Yellow jackets are the dickheads of the bee community, though. You know that?
I don't know. You ever see those? You ever get into a swatting fight with one of them freaking wood boring bees?
Oh, the carpenter bees? Yeah, those things are. But you know what, though, dude? I don't kill them. I leave them around because they take out everything else. They'll take out hornets and wasps.
When they're banging in my house trying to bore holes,
Swat. No, that's why I got homeowners insurance. That'll fix it. You know, put in a claim, get the money, fix it. Yeah, those things. I have one that actually lives in underneath the mailbox because there's like wooden planks under the mailbox. I actually have one that lives in the mailbox. And that thing comes near the house and will take out yellow jackets and bees, or hornets, wasps, all that. Yeah, they don't fuck around. They're nasty.
I know they get aggressive when you swat at them and you miss.
Well, when you swat at them and miss, yeah. But if you just leave him alone, like I'll go get the mail and he'll just kind of hover, like right by my head. Like,
hey, what's up, dude? Hey, what's up, pal?
Don't sting me, you freaking bastard. Oh my God, AC, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man.
That
Friday evenings, 8 p.m., bro, every week.
Hey, Cole.
That's right.
No, not every Friday.
Yeah, dude.
June 24th.
What's up?
Not every Friday. June 24th.
Until the 24th, and then we go to Thursdays at 7. Look at you, right on the ball, man. I'm telling you. I feel bad for calling you Do Nothing Dan now. I got to stop that shit. No, maybe not. All right. So, unfortunately, we're at the end. Well, let's talk about Reverbicon a minute before we go. Because I'm going to be up there around 10 o'clock. It starts at noon to 7. Broken Road Barbecue and Bar. That's in Schaghticoke, New York.
Used to be Prospectors.
Yeah. What's that?
Used to be Prospectors.
Used to be Prospectors. That's right. So, other than the fact that Joe Mansman and the Midnight Revival Band is going to be there, of course, we just watched me talking to Joe for like an hour. There's also going to be Peter Anello. If you guys don't know who Peter Anello is a guitar player, local guy, absolutely shreds, amazing, a lot of bluesy stuff. He's great. He's going to be there. Vombino's going to be spinning tunes. Trailer Park Moonlight will be there. Friends of the show. Fox Vineyard's going to be there. The Wrestler. Myron Lozon's going to be there. Kevin Conrad, another amazingly talented artist, is going to be there. We are going to be there. You, EPD, and myself are going to be there hanging out, shaking babies and kissing hands, talking to you guys. We're going to have the That Fuzz and 518 Show poker chips available for you guys. They're $5 each. All proceeds, every dime will go to Autism Speaks. So make sure you guys are bringing some $5 bills. Was it Abe Lincolns?
Yeah.
Make sure you guys are bringing some Abraham Lincolns. And money's going to go to a good cause. You guys will get a nice little keepsake stocking stuffer. Hey, buy a ton. Bring them for the kids. You know what I mean? If you guys find a green chip in Fuzzy's sack, because we're going to put the chips in Fuzzy's sack. I don't have Fuzzy sack's packed up behind me. We're going to put the chips in a Fuzzy sack, and there's going to be a green chip. Definitely. These are black with the logo and the links on it and stuff like that. These are black. This chip's going to be all green with nothing, no face on it, no nothing. So it's definitely distinctive. So if you, by chance, pull that out of Fuzzy's sack, which people are going to have their hands in Fuzzy's sack all day long, if you pull the green chip, you will receive this. This is a Peter Steele pick from the Bloody Kisses tour, of course, of Typo Negative. So not very easy to come by. They're pretty rare. So that's going to be the prize for pulling the green chip out of Fuzzy sack. And if that goes away fast, we might throw some. You know what we'll do? We're going to go into executive producer Dan's pocket. And we're going to pull out like a $50 bill or something. We'll give that away. Hey, you control the finances, brother. This is, the only thing you can do is give yourself a raise.
Oh, what?
But we're going to listen. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a great time. Listen, Jess.
I just gave myself a raise.
There you go. See that? You're good for another 5 years now. Contracted, one per year. That's what you get.
Got invaded.
No, Jess. I think it'll hold up nicely. And you know what? Who needs a sack that looks fresh out of the factory? You know what I mean? I mean, I've had my sack for a long time, and it's pretty weathered. So this will fall right into place. Little creases and rips and
Michael,
stuff.
watch your mouth.
Absolutely not, ma'am. I will not. What are you doing?
Waiting for me.
Waiting for him.
Oh, so I should get him. Okay, so listen, this is you're gonna appreciate this. So what we do is we come up with interesting ways to get him off the camera, and we usually pick a number from 1 to 11. We're up to 11 now, so we'll go from a number from 1 to 11. I will let you pick it, and that will be the thing that gets him booted off the show. How's that sound?
Okay.
Some of them are nice. Some of them are not so nice. Some like so there's a giraffe's tongue. There's thing says you're fired. There's some Batman stuff. There's some stick figure stuff. There's also a bunny that's chewing on a carrot, which is a nice way to get rid of them. But I'll let you. Okay, so from number 1 to number 11, you pick the number, and that's how we get rid of them.
5.
Number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, EPD, we'll see you tomorrow at the Broken Road Barbecue and Bar, Reverbicon 2021. And here's your number 5. Take care.
Great.
There he goes. EPD out. And you know what, guys? I'm out too. That's my time. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate all you guys for coming and hanging out with us. Couldn't do without you guys. I'm humbled that you guys even tune in still. We will be back next Friday evening, 8 p.m. It was supposed to be Kristen Capolino, but we rescheduled her for July 1st. So it's going to be an open week tomorrow unless I can find somebody to come in. I do have an idea. So if I can get them to come in, we'll do that. Otherwise, it'll be just us and you guys, and we'll be hanging out and chatting. And we'll hope for the best. Go to Broken Road Barbecue and Bar tomorrow, noon to 7, Reverbicon 2021, and come hang out with all of us. It's going to be a damn good time, and hope to see you guys all there. I'll see you guys again next Friday evening, 8 p.m. Until then, please be safe. Please take care of each other, and make sure you bring a spare pair of thongs to the Reverbicon, ladies. Can add them to the collection back here. See you next week.
This time